It's what we say is part of our yearly plan now. And we are looking at how the cabin crew affects the passenger from interaction with them, from interfacing with them, and how the passenger also affects the cabin crew and the general aviation industry from interaction and interfacing with them. And we came up with this and we started awarding them. We did that the first time. The reception was a bit slow, but people came and we crowned one of you the king and the queen of the air for that year. And because we wanted to build a center, we decided to stop it for a while because it was costing so much, so we can put more value to it. So this year, we decided to come back again with a greater value to that. So that is why we are here. The story that begins with and the enthusiasm to fly has a high responsibility, which the journey will definitely have a reward. So, Mama J has given me this chance to talk to you and look at what are those things that constitute the experience and what are the things that affect them. Beyond passing your training, which you often do, right? You have an obligation, and one of them, like the past speaker has said, one of them is maintaining a good passenger's experience. The other one is to help build travel confidence. The way you handle in-flight passengers, in-flight actions and all that can help build travel confidence. You know, in every aircraft you get into, it's not almost everybody that is a frequent traveler. Some are just first-time travelers. I have had occasions where people are sitting beside me in the aircraft and suddenly I have somebody grabbing my hand, right? I think, I'm sure I'm not the only one who has that experience, and somebody is grabbing my hand, and because they are scared, they are worried, they are probably the first time. Now, sometimes your training can help you spot people like that and reassure them that you are okay. The other one is to help the order of air travel safety and security. Of course, your training gives you, the first thing is safety first, right? So your training is basically biased towards safety and the security of passengers, and then you are the one who must make sure that that actually is performed in the standard manner. I could hear Madam telling you that you don't take things for granted, which means, you know, in dirty dozen is called complacency, right? When you think you know it all because it is already in your brain and you can actually mess up, because the SOP says have that in your hand. As a matter of fact, for us who are instructors, it's beginning to be an SOP, really, for us to carry our lecture notes, that is, you know, standard delivery notes, to hold it while you talk. Why? It's not because you don't know what is there. It's because they do not want you to deviate from the standard procedures or standard content which must be delivered, so that aviation is uniform, is the same. What you say here is what the other person is going to say, is universal. So also the last of the obligation that you have is to ensure passengers' comfort in a confined space. You know, most people don't really know that a lot of people are scared of being boxed in. Yeah, some people are even scared of being boxed in their own toilet at home, not to talk of being in the aircraft. I must tell you, personally, I do not enjoy getting into aircraft toilet. If I can hold my wee from where down to, you know, because you think, just look at it, it's just too small. And those who love space are always having this problem with confined space. So it is your duty to show them that this place, it may be confined, but can be comfortable. Now, to be able to meet these obligations to your customers, or the flyers, what are those challenges? What are those things that confront your ability to do that? Responsibilities are often challenged by what? Unruly passengers. Unruly and rude passengers. I'm going to show you a small video, because when we're measuring this issue of passengers' experience, a lot of things cannot be solved by technology. And it is good that also the past speaker mentioned that you know that you cannot be out of job. Yes, you can automate aircraft. You can make them fly without a pilot. But as long as the factors of human error and the issue of the 12 dirty dozens exist, you must have human beings to really relate with people. And also, robots cannot comfort you. It can never. Robots will never have an emotion. Emotion is something you cannot impute in machines. So you can actually feel my emotion. I can feel your spirit and you can feel my spirit. Just by looking at my face, you get reassured. If somebody who comes to reassure you of confidence and you shouldn't worry, by the time the person is approaching you, you will know that the person is trying to calm you down. But if the person who is going to be aggressive towards you, you can actually read it from the face. That is what robots cannot do, or machines cannot do. So unruly passengers are beginning to increase in the travel line. Seriously, it's almost happening on daily basis. I think in America, I think the report says over 13,000 or 3,000 or 13,000. I think I have a video of it, of cases of attack of air hosts and air hostess by very rude passengers. The second one of the challenge is also the cabin crew's behavior and disposition. All right, some people don't know when to drop the baggage, so they carry it also down to their workplace. So good morning, what is good about the morning? Even when you don't say it out practically, inside your mind, that is what it says. The face is, the face, you can never ever control the face when it comes to emotion. You can lie. Somebody will know that you are lying. If they look deep through your face, they will know. So the cabin crew behavior and disposition is very key in this matter. Fear of flight. A lot of people are really scared. So those are also challenges. Even among those who intend to take this profession, some people have been in a plane when there was turbulence, and the cabin crew was even shaking more than all the passengers. and cabin crew almost started leading a praying session in the plane, in the cloud. So this is also something which has to come with your training. New normal is the biggest challenge that we have. Now, what we are going through now is not likely to live in the very short while, but a lot of people are finding it difficult to adjust. For those who do not have for those who are no longer wearing their beautiful uniform that inspires initial confidence in them, and they're now wearing some sack of nylon, I know what psychologically what you wear and how you come out helps you also to position yourself. You are being seen as responsible, admired, not somebody with just some kind of covering. So the new normal is affecting our behavior, and we should be able to manage it very well, and all other factors. Now, the essence of this story is to let you know that the crown of your success from this career fair is not just the certificate or the participation knowledge that you have or the recharge cards that you have been given, but how you apply whatever you learned here, the information you get from us and from Mama G, to perfectly conduct yourself right and coordinate and manage passengers' conduct before and at takeoff and during flights, and during and after landing and disembarkment. You know, the journey and your responsibility look very compacted, but the truth is that it is quite long, because there are sequence. There is a time people are disembarking. You cannot say, oh, because you finished all your announcement and they're going, so it is their business. You need to also be able to make sure that they leave the aircraft happily, safely, because that leaves them with the last memorable experience. Okay, I remember coming down from the plane and someone was handing me a pack of food and all that, and I, 2 times I checked the 2 people's behavior. One is someone who said, oh, thank you, for flying with us, and a little smile on the face. The other one say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I can remember the other person. I can remember the aircraft. I remember the airline. But the one that says, thank you, it's like saying, get going. You like, you come back. You don't like, it's your business. So let's know that is very important also in the way we handle people. So it is not just making your safety announcement that counts now. It is helping us to come back to your airline that is very important. Are you with me? Helping to build back the confidence to fly. The good thing is that we are now having an increase in air transport utilization. There are a lot of reasons and factors that is leading to it. Some of them are artificial, let's face it. But the fact that you are climbing through a peak, right, at the time that we are coming away from recession, it is our attitude and our behavior that can sustain the upward climb, right? Because if there is another alternative, people may change their choice. So cabin crew are a very important part of passengers' experience. You are not just taking your certificate or whatever you're getting today. The good news is that there is a reward which we are also planning, and that reward is recognizing you on Nigerian Aviation Award and also crowning one of you as the king and the queen of the air. This is a picture of the last events, some of the events we did in the past. And finally, what is passengers' experience? Though passengers' experience is measured of a total perception of service satisfaction during the course of a journey, but many people consider in-flight experience as technology, connectivity, good food, and nice audiovisual entertainment system. However, this is changing very fast, because passengers' experience is now being measured, or we are trying to measure passengers' experience from the perception that they get from you, the feeling, the way they met you, what you did with them, and all that. Thank you.
And oftentimes they've been violent.
The FAA now says it has nearly 3,000 reports of unruly passenger behavior already this year. 2,100 of those involving passengers who are refusing to comply with the FAA mask mandate.
The FAA has a zero-tolerance policy for people who behave badly on airplanes.
This morning, the agency is taking action with a new round of fines. A passenger fined $15,500 for ignoring at least 10 requests from the crew to wear a mask properly and drinking alcohol not served by the airline. A New York to Cancun passenger fined $10,500 for being so disruptive when asked to wear a mask. The flight was diverted to Fort Lauderdale.
If you break these rules, put others at risk, and impact their travel plans, we'll prosecute to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah, that can mean jail time. It can also mean being banned for life by the airline in which somebody is acting badly. And by the way, the mask mandate is in effect until mid-September. Keep in mind, half the population is vaccinated, but half isn't, including children under the age of 12 for the most part. And that is why the FAA is keeping that mask mandate in place and asking people, please comply in airports and also on board planes. Guys, back to you.
Still got to wear those masks. All right, Tom, thank you so much. And we were just talking, because we've been flying a lot. The flights are all full.
full.
They're full, yeah. Which means, of course, people are tense and all of that, but just put the mask on, you get there faster, don't make a fuss. Getting diverted is not the answer.
No, indeed. Don't want that lifetime ban. Yeah, that'd be good.
That's why I like taking the train.
Okay. Now, so what I'm just going to quickly ask is to let you know that we have sent out the request to your airlines for you, the cabin crew, to join in this. There's a 1 million naira, yes, reward. You know, this last time when we started with 100,000, but now we're giving 1 million naira for the king and the queen of the please a round of applause for yourselves. This, for us, this is not about the money. It's about helping to improve passengers' experience. Okay? So you're not going to come there and win except we find out that you are capable of doing it. And this is only available to those who have the license and who are presently working at an airline. You need to get a permission by your airline to come and participate, and because you're going to wear the airline uniform, and we are building a very beautiful stage, so you're going to do a lot of this catwalk. So the essence of everything that we have said is that Mama G is actually grooming you, but we are, on the other hand, making sure you are rewarded and recognized. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fortune. Please, I'm sure you can do better than that. Please, so the words are for just cabin crew now. Those of us who are ex-cabin crew, what are you doing for us? Thank you very much for that. So there you are. There's so much. We didn't have that in our day, but things are changing. That's part of the evolving. So catching on these opportunities, they're not a joke. Fastest finger Etisalat, or Nine Mobile as it is called now. How many people have Nine Mobile here? Anybody? Okay, all right. Are you guys ready? Ready? Steady. Go. 49579 41095 67748. Do I have a winner? Anybody? Nobody. What happened? Please check. Or you didn't get the numbers. You want me to repeat? I should repeat? Okay. Oh. Are you ready? Okay. 49579 41095 67748. Okay, let nobody win. I can load it on my phone. At least oh, she's gotten it. All right. Please tell us your name anyway, so that they know that it's not what you call it.
My name is Thomas.
Okay. Airline? Okay, aspiring cabin crew. Okay, it's good that the aspiring cabin crew are winning the credit because they need it. Thank you very much for that. All right. I asked that if we've got questions, we should put them on a piece of paper. Anybody got any questions? You don't have any questions? Okay. Is it on a sheet of paper? On a piece of paper? Is it possible for you to put it on a piece of paper? You can ask the ladies at the back. They can give you a piece of paper and you can put your questions there, please. But before we take your questions, I'd like to ask Jane to come up and give us a few,
Thank you. So as Madam Joyce said, my name is Jane and I am from Mars. Not the planet, of course. Mars Aviation is a corporate aviation company that's based here in Lagos. Are there any corporate flight attendants in here? I see a lot of airlines, which is commercial. Is there anyone from the private side? Can you hear me better? Okay. Is there anyone from private aviation? No? Just me? Oh, well done. Okay, sorry, I didn't see around my nose. Good. I was getting used to being the only one, so no, it's fine. Thank you. So let me take this opportunity to talk you through a little bit about the day in the life of a corporate flight attendant. Most people, I think you'll agree, most people think that a flight attendant is just there to hand out food trays, serve drinks, and this kind of thing. But as we've learned today, and as most of you know, this is very far from the truth. I'm a corporate services manager right now, but I started my career as a commercial cabin crew approximately 20 years ago, I think. So, yeah, it's quite a while now. Thank you very much. I'm originally from the UK, but I've been based here in Nigeria for the last 3 years and coming regularly before that too. We used to operate a lot of flights into the region. After my commercial flying experience, which lasted 5 years, I was with Emirates based in Dubai. Had a wonderful time being commercial cabin crew. And at that time, I was then offered an opportunity to go and work for a private jet operator, which at the time, those opportunities were very, very few and far between. So it was a very special moment. And yeah, I decided to take my passion to new heights. Pun intended. Before I started flying, I studied nursing, so I was a nurse in the UK for a while. I'm no longer registered, and I've not nursed for 20 years plus, so please no first aid scenarios right now, because I'm very blank. But my passion for helping people has always been evident, whatever my career choice has been. When I started my corporate flying opportunity, it was on a very super luxurious Boeing business jet, one of only 3 private 777s in the world. And since then, I've moved around and I've gone on to work for various people from Middle Eastern royalty, Russian aristocrats, Hollywood corporations, and various individuals worldwide. We know it's not just a warm smile and a nice face that gets you the job. Your employer needs to know that you are exceptional, that you have good quality training under your belts, that you know your stuff, and you're prepared for anything. Even me right now, this is a very impromptu a panel that I've joined, but you know, being the professional consummate, you always find something to whip out. So I'll present to you a day in the life of a corporate flight attendant. In corporate flying, the workload can often be quite a lot more than the commercial cabin crew counterparts, because as a corporate flight attendant, you are the only one on board your aircraft. You don't have a team to work with. She's nodding in agreement. See, she knows the score. You're also responsible for those tasks which often the airlines have whole departments that are dedicated to, such as catering, cleaning, restocking. All of those duties fall on you, the cabin crew. And yeah, often you'll have to just roll your sleeves up and get stuck into whatever other jobs come your way, even if that means you're scrubbing a toilet. Very glamorous, but we have to do it sometimes. So the corporate flight attendant in my company, Mars Aviation, usually our day begins in the evening, because our company is very fond of issuing the schedules late at night, so that often means whoever's on duty will sleep like this, with one eye open. and the flight might go early the next morning. So this often means that cabin crew don't have a lot of sleep. They might only get 6 or 7 hours rest because we're not under the same regulations as the commercial cabin crew. We operate under a different regulation, which means cabin crew are not always seen as safety ambassadors, even though in our company they are. We train them in safety, but oftentimes they can just be there for service. Then, once we get our schedule, we try to find out about our VIPs. It's important if we can find out who they are, we might know what their preferences are. You might be able to tell from their name if they have any dietary restrictions, or maybe you've flown them before and you remember what kind of things they like. Then, knowing your VIPs and your passengers really helps you plan your whole day. So the flight attendant, so the cabin crew, will then reach out to suppliers, catering companies, and propose a menu. Try to source all of those beautiful foods and drinks you'll be presenting to your passengers on the day. You might think that working with a private jet company means you have an unlimited budget, but quite often that's actually not the case. Maybe it's different with you, but oftentimes we're on a shoestring budget and you have to whip out this 5-star service on a small budget and make it look beautiful and luxurious, and it's some kind of magic that's involved in that, I can assure you. On the day of the flight, as soon as the flight attendant steps on board, she checks the cabin, the galley, the equipment, lavatory areas. No two private jets are the same, so having a good knowledge of the various jets that are quite common in the region is very good. Once you're sure everything is in its right place, and everything is as you expect, in these current COVID times, hygiene and cleaning are often very paramount. So sanitizing and cleaning the aircraft before your passengers arrive is part of your duties too. And it's more important than it ever has been to keep things clean. Once you load your catering, the aircraft have different storage spaces. So you store everything away as best you can. Thankfully, the aircraft that we operate in our companies are very spacious. So you have ovens, microwaves, full-sized fridges, and lots of space, which is nice. It's not always the case on some of the smaller jets. Once the guests arrive to the plane, now you might have noticed I do tend to prefer to call them guests rather than passengers, because in the private world that just helps me create that environment that it's a hospitality environment and they're our guests and we're welcoming them, and they're not just a number and a passenger to us, they're special. Not all of our passengers are A-list celebrities, although we do fly them sometimes. A majority of them are regular business people, family people, with everyday lives like you and I. So the only difference is that there are standards to be met with them, and not just met, but surpassed as well in their private jet travels. Once the guests are on board and the doors are closed, the service begins with a nice welcome drink and a hot towel. They settle in for the trip. We offer them a menu and allow time for the aircraft safety briefing to occur before we stow and secure their items. When we level off, the service really begins. Now, there is a right way and a wrong way to serve your passengers. There is a right way and a wrong way to lay up a table. There is a right way and a wrong way to pour drinks. And you can bet that your VIP knows which is which, so there is no escaping from that. That's where fine dining, training, culinary skills, customary knowledge, knowing which utensils go where, cultural awareness, all of these things become vital as part of your presentation and your setup. The service can be hectic because you're the only one, but you must always hide that and present it very gracefully. But it's easier said than done when you're the chef, you're the waiter, you're the barman, you're the coffee maker, you're the nanny for the kids, you're the cabin safety monitor, you're the cleaner, everything all at the same time when everything is going on. It's not an easy feat. But You need to find a balance between being discreet and invisible and also being there when the passenger needs you. It's a very small environment, so there's nowhere to hide, but they don't want to see you lurking around and getting nosy in their business. So, also, whilst that's going on, don't forget to check on the cockpit. They're very important, and offer them refreshments and do whatever you need to do. Once the cabin has been cleared, you clear away all the service items, you will also need to wash the dishes at some point. Usually I will decide when to do that a bit later on in the flight. If it's a long or an overnight flight, you might have to prepare the beds first so that the passengers and the guests can go to sleep. It's very difficult trying to make 6 beds inside a 6-foot cabin, stuffing duvets into duvet covers. I, thankfully as a child, used to watch WWE wrestling, and there's a lot of tips I got from that which help me with the bed making these days. Whilst the passengers settle down, maybe offer them a hydrating drink, they might rest, or we put some movies on, maybe some music, and allow them to just enjoy the rest of their flight. At top of descent, we will wake the passengers up with another hot towel, offer them some fresh juice. We make sure that bathrooms are stocked with all the luxury amenities, toothbrushes, this kind of thing that they might require, so that they can refresh themselves before they arrive. Then the cabin is prepared for landing. We bid farewell to the passengers as they disembark, and as the last guest steps out, we do a quick search to make sure that there's nothing left behind, because I can guarantee there's always a pair of glasses or a mobile phone that someone has forgotten before they stepped off. Our job doesn't end then once we reach the destination. We spend that time, once we've prepared the aircraft, decatered, washed the dishes, offloaded everything, it's back to square one, where we're now in a new destination and we have to prepare for the next flight. That means sourcing catering, visiting restaurants, going shopping, buying stock for the plane, and all of this happens on your own, in a new destination, in a country you're not familiar with, but somehow you just have to know your way around everywhere in the world so that you can get the job done. The job, although it can be very rewarding, it is not for the faint-hearted. And I find that here in Nigeria is probably one of the most challenging places in the world where I've ever had to do this job. Things don't often go smoothly. There are many infrastructure issues to deal with, so it's not easy at all. And you guys who do something similar in the commercial world, I take my hat off to you because it can be very stressful. The job challenges you to think beyond the boundaries. People often focus on what it takes to become a flight attendant, but they often overlook what it takes to stay a good flight attendant. It really takes a lot for a person to keep going at it beyond the initial phase. Once all the glamour has gone and the long hours, the backache, the feet aches, the jet lag, the homesickness, missing your dog, once all of these kick in, it really takes a strong character to keep going, a unique kind of person to keep pushing on. But for me though, I will always take the rough with the smooth. I love what I do. I do it with unwavering passion, and I always will. My other cabin crew that are in my department were once working for an airline that's in this room, a commercial airline, and I was speaking to Mr. Fortune earlier and discovered that she was also crowned Queen from his King and Queen Awards at the Nigerian Aviation Awards ceremony. So we often recruit corporate flight attendants who come from a cabin crew background because you guys have exceptional training, exceptional abilities, and you're often underrated, but not by us. We really value you. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you've learned something about my industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jane. They say the grass always looks greener on the other side. I'm sure for those of you who have not been in the private or the corporate world of aviation have gotten a feeling of what it's like to be there today. So if you feel that that's bad enough, you felt that, oh, it's easier there, well, maybe you'll think twice now. The various experiences, it doesn't matter where you are, We all have our jobs cut out for us, and that's just what it is. Okay, we're going to do a raffle draw. It's